Hi, my name is Julia Pierce, and this is part 3 of Jay's journey. In 2012, while still working at the same place of employment as my friend from college and mentor, I had met someone who became a good friend. At the time, he pretty much was just someone who would come by on breaks. And he noticed that I had scriptures written on my board. Or he would notice when he came by that I would be reading my Bible on my break. And so we just kind of had this ping pong session, I would call it. We would kind of just share what we were experiencing in our walk with Jesus. And because this young man was pretty much excommunicated from his church, I decided that maybe I could just share the gospel with him. Our friendship started out small, and then it became a little more familiar. And I was really encouraged because it seemed like he really wanted what I had, which was the truth about Jesus. See, not very many people want the Jesus that I have. And pretty much for about 2 years, we were just ping pong partner friends at work. Fast forward to October of 2013. I had pretty much just given up on my promise of marrying my friend from college. And I really just asked the Lord if he would take him from me. See, I had made a vow in 2011 or 2012 to that gentleman that I would wait for him to either choose me or someone else. And I had seen that he had already chosen someone else. And I pretty much just got to the point where I really was okay with not being married. If I'm being completely honest, Jesus had been the greatest lover, best friend, healer, confidant. And I knew if I married an earthly man, he would be imperfect. But just as I had gotten comfortable being single, Jesus told me that he was ready for me to get married. And I said, please don't let him have the same name as the other person. And I kind of grumbled with Jesus. I told him, David got to be king and slay giants. Noah built an ark. Esther became queen. And Julie gets to get married. I really felt like I had a bigger purpose than just being a bride. But after a little bit of time, he ministered to me and he said, Julie, being a wife is a great purpose. I made Eve to support Adam, and the man I'm sending you to really needs your support. I've trained you these years to be the woman that your husband needs. And so he told me, Julie, your husband is right around the corner. But I had some conditions. He told me that I was going to have to leave my church. So I did. And I found myself at a new church. The first Sunday that I was there, this handsome young gentleman took a deep interest in me. I noticed that he really paid attention to what I said. So much so that he showed up at my Bible study the following week. It was also the same week that I invited my ping pong partner. The gentleman from church, after Bible study, asked me if he could see me again. He came and picked me up for a lunch date at work and pretty much asked if he could court me. And I will say that this gentleman was very much a gentleman. God showed me through him that I was worth pursuing, that I was worth being treated like a lady. But I just felt like he didn't really have the zeal or passion for Jesus like I did. And at times I felt myself very discouraged because I felt like I wasn't understood. And honestly, I saw that there was some jealousy that was rising up between him and my ping pong partner. And I started realizing if I married this man, it would not be wise to keep my ping pong partner. So I really just prayed. I really just want your will, Lord. And again, if I'm honest, I had been having dreams about walking down the aisle towards a man that looked like my ping pong partner, although I really didn't see him at the time as husband material. But a few weeks later, actually it was on Valentine's Day or a little after, the gentleman I was courting decided to break it off with me. He said he was going to go back to his ex-fiancée. So I really just took several weeks off to just be alone. And then one day my ping pong partner showed up at my apartment. And he told me, I'm going to marry you. And at this point, I realized that I could return the affection. See, he let me be who I am. He wasn't afraid to walk in my shadow. And at one point I asked him, do you know what you're getting yourself into? Because I can be like a firecracker. If you treat me right, I'll make a beautiful display. But if you handle me wrong, I'll blow up in your face. Stay tuned for part 4 of Jay's journey.